Keep an extra eye out for the competition, he'd said. The competition was our name for Mossad. It was our little joke. The idea of PLO security competing with such an organization was laughable. Apparently, the competition were trying to reassert themselves in England after recent setbacks. Mossad's station in London had been closed by Margaret Thatcher 2 years earlier for having an agent in a PLO cell implicated in the shooting of a Palestinian cartoonist on a South Kensington street. But Abu Lila had another reason for his warning. He wanted to host a secret meeting in England, a meeting between Israelis and Palestinians. His warning was unnecessary. I'd been trained to be constantly alert. It was always better to be safe than sorry, even if being safe meant not being able to relax. By the time I got to Kentish Town, I had reassured myself that I was traveling alone. I walked the dark and quiet residential back streets up to Tufnell Park, avoiding the main road. The recent rain had freshened the air and cleansed the streets. I stopped occasionally, once to do my shoelaces, twice to shift my bag to the other shoulder, always giving a quick scout behind as I crossed the road. But it was late on a Sunday, and nobody else was about. It was with some relief that I reached my road in Tufnell Park, where I rented a small room, just a bed, cooker, and sink in a 3-story terraced house, what the English call a bedsit. 6 rooms in all, occupied, as far as I could tell, by mature students or itinerant workers. It had been home for a year, and I paid the rent every month in cash. Since each of the rooms was self-contained, apart from shared bathrooms on each floor, I exchanged only greetings with the other inhabitants when passing them on the stairs, which suited me fine. I hung up my suit and took the money from inside the newspaper. I'd spent the first 15 years of my life in a refugee camp, so I appreciated how much money I was carrying, although Abu Lila handed it out indifferently, not even expecting me to account for it. I took no advantage, though. I just lived the life of a student, as instructed. My modest monthly expenses were paid through to a UK bank account, transferred from a trust fund in Qatar, ostensibly set up by my parents' executors, although I don't think my parents had ever even opened a bank account. My fees at the School of Oriental and African Studies, where I was registered as a student, had been paid up front from the same account. The last thing Abu Lila wanted was for me to look out of place. He gave me strict instructions to stay out of exiled Arab circles, and particularly to avoid the Palestinian student community and their organizations. Like the General Union of Palestinian Students, Abu Lila said that Western intelligence agencies saw anyone involved in such activities as a potential threat, and that such groups were infiltrated by the competition. I wrapped the money and the Swiss passport in a towel, thinking of several ways it could be put to good use in the camp, although I didn't know what it was for, just what I had to do with it. I saw light coming from under the bathroom door on the landing. As I turned to go back into my room, the door opened, and my housemate emerged trailing steam, wrapped in a towel that reached mid-thigh, another wrapped turban-like around her head. I'd only seen her once or twice before, as we passed each other on the stairs. She'd been there a month, replacing a middle-aged man who I'd never seen use the bathroom. We shuffled awkwardly on the small landing, and she gave an embarrassed smile as she walked past me with her freshly bathed smell. The shabby but clean bathroom was still steamy. I caught the herbal aroma of her bathwater as it swirled down the plug hole. She'd left a candle on the side of the bath. A thin snake of smoke emerged from the blown-out wick. I wet my forefinger and thumb and squeezed the smoking wick dead with a hiss. The house was quiet. As I checked the alignment of the screws that held the plastic side panel of the bath in place, they were as I'd last left them. Using a tiny penknife attached to my keyring, I removed the panel. Lying on my back parallel to the bath, I reached under.